Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Q&A. I'm your host, Roland. Sitting to the left or right of me, depending on your perspective or your place in space, is Ursinity, our expert. Ursinity, how are you?
Oh, I'm just great. I'm just stellar.
You're just
stellar.
great.
I haven't used that one before.
Ooh, you've never
Stellar.
used Stellar. You have never used Stellar.
Great group.
That's good. How's the grandma?
she is definitely a grandma still. That's definitely that's still a thing.
I usually ask you how your week's been. How's her week been?
Oh boy, I'm sure it's been riveting.
Yeah.
Lots of, I don't know, politics. That's about it.
Is she deep in
Edith Piaf?
She's into the politics, like American
No,
politics?
I mean it's just like that's just like, I mean, she like barely, like, her English isn't great, but like that's just what you leave on in the day. Like you leave on the news, and the news transitions to politics. This is weird. We like with
What's
the whole
weird?
grandma thing is very bizarre.
I like a French grandma. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything weird.
It's weird.
I don't think anything's weird about that, but we can move on. How has your week been?
Oh, it's been good. We're talking in the pre-show, but I've been playing PUBG, which is the new hotness, I guess. I got peer pressured by, give or take a dozen people in the space of like 1 hour. And so I was like, I mean, I guess, like, money's a lie. Who cares? Spend my money. And it's fun. I've been enjoying that. So that's been a lot of my week. What else?
Do you think you'll still hold the money as a
graduation.
lie sentiment when you're a school teacher?
I mean, I won't be making a lot, so yeah, money will still be a lie.
It'll be just a bad lie. It won't be a good lie, right?
Well, yeah.
You're doing a very valiant thing, though, and I mean that.
I'm not nearly as
bottom of my heart.
anti-capitalistic as some of our other friends and hosts, so I don't want to I don't want to take their thunder with the whole like money's a lie, money's fake stuff. But other than that, it's graduation week for a lot of the colleges, just in general. So I've had a lot of friends that have been graduating this week, so I had to go to a bunch of those kind of parties, and that's fun. But also, I technically had my graduation, but I skipped the ceremony. So, and also I graduated like 4 months ago, but with my first degree. But
sincere congratulations to you. Congratulations to Ursi, everybody that's out
meaningless.
there clapping in your car, clapping anywhere.
Yep.
Good for Ursi. He got his undergraduate. That's no, dude. That is definitely a challenge for a lot of people, including me.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I literally did not graduate. Like, I graduated in December, and then I started my gap year.
This is when you would be graduating. So I'm going to congratulate you when you would be graduating, because I'm disappointed you didn't walk, kind of like your parents. Because just like I would console you in a hospital room, I would come to your graduation as well. So
no, see, this is where
I would love to see you walk. I'm disappointed you didn't, honestly.
Well, I figured that I'd skip this one because I'll have to, when I get my master's, I'll actually walk on that one. I'm not gonna walk twice. That's dumb.
Why?
So also,
that's
when we talk about, like,
from your good friend Roland.
Exactly.
So
but
you only want to walk once.
Yeah. It's funny when people mention, like, on the Q&A, or you mentioning Robot Ursinity, or like Proud mentioning like my weird family. Most people are like pressured to go to walk because of their parents. My parents are like, yeah, please don't. Like, we don't need to. Nobody needs to bother with this.
No.
Good job graduating. That's it. We'll go to dinner. Like,
awesome.
Yeah.
Did you get to pick where you
I got
to
out
go?
of that. No, we haven't done it yet.
There's your dad like, I know of a good place, and it's like, but Dad, I'd like to go to my favorite. And he's like, no. There's a place I can pull something.
No, definitely not.
No,
I mean, I wouldn't even been able to do that because I graduated, again, quote unquote graduated. The ceremony was on the day that we had our long stream, and I was literally at my friend's graduation party during the period in which I would have been walking and graduating. So that's been my week.
I'm glad you know your priorities, honestly. I mean, school, DotP, DotP.
My friends are very disappointed that I have these priorities set because I don't show up to anything anymore.
Okay.
But
before we get into questions,
content.
I have to ask you some questions here. When you go hang out with your friends, they know about DotP, yeah?
Yeah, to varying degrees.
They may not listen, what have you.
None of them do, I hope.
What do they think is going on? Like, what are your conversations with them like about this?
Well, it depends. Most of them know that like I podcast as a like a hobby slash secondary job
Mm-hmm.
and have a general idea. Some of them like play Dota, or not only one of them play, or a couple of them play Dota currently.
Mm-hmm.
But no, and thankfully none of them listen. That would be weird. But they know that it's like my hobby that I now make some money from, I guess. And it's a bit more understandable when I don't show up to anything because I can always say like I didn't show up to things before. Like I'm a very introverted person, and my
Uh-huh.
friends know that. That's well documented. So I just be like, yeah, I got to record, I got to work or whatever. And it's more understandable now that now that it's been a thing over the last whatever it is year compared to initially where they're like, what the heck are you doing? Like, why are you not coming out? Like, why are you skipping things? But you do always feel bad. Like I missed a lot of like I missed a decent amount of like important things. But it's like work, right? You got to do what you got to do.
For sure. And you definitely treat this like a job. I will say that.
I mean, it is a job. So
It is a job, but I mean, your discipline is definitely well noted among everyone, I believe. I mean, I log into Discord and the last 30 messages are just Ursi responding to everybody over the night, and it's nice, yeah. Anyway,
I thought, yeah.
Whoa,
All right, how was your week, Roland?
Oh, wow, you're gonna
I'd be
reciprocate.
remiss.
Holy shit.
Well, I feel bad sometimes.
It was transcendental.
Okay.
Transcendental.
Transcendental.
Transcendental week. No, I said transcendental.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
we already talked about this, Roland. You're not going to pull the power play that I taught you.
It was a great week. It's life is. I realize now that I'm in the part of my life that I'm going to look back on and say, "Damn, those were the good times." Like when I'm old and have cancer, you know what I mean? I'm going to be like, "Oh man, those were the good times. I wish I could go back to those times." And so I'm trying to remind myself of that as often as possible. That this is the peak or getting close to it. So enjoy because it's only gonna get worse from here. So yeah, I'm enjoying the shit out of it. So thank you for asking. My week has been great.
Yep.
Do you want to get started now?
Yes, let's.
Perfect. Hello and welcome to DotP Q&A, where we get questions from the public, usually pertaining to Dota 2, sometimes pertaining to our likenesses, sometimes pertaining to pop culture. Sometimes pertaining to whatever the fuck you want. I would love to get like a historian up in here and be like, all right, Arcee, we're gonna do a good or garbage on some history. That would be awesome. That's a little.
That would just be embarrassing.
No, you're good. Like you're good.
Yeah, I guess.
Like is tradition with DotP Q&A, Tuesday Q&A. We start with good or garbage. Are you ready?
I am prepared.
So as always, we've changed things up a bit. The first word out of your mouth has to be good or garbage. Okay? But you can follow up with whatever you'd like.
Okay,
because we felt like we were being a little too restrictive. There were some things that I would like your opinion on, and I know other people would as well. Okay, ready?
Yes, prepared.
Sven nerfs.
Good, perfect.
Why? I want to ask why.
That makes it so he's still buffed effectively, but nerfed in the sense that he was a little overpowered, right? No hero has a 10% increase in win rate in the space of like 2 days and then can be considered perfectly balanced, right? Like it was just a bit much. Now with it being tuned down, I think he's going to be like fair and strong, but not overly strong. We'll see though. I have not actually played post nerf.
That makes a lot of sense. Pulling the stats into that makes a lot of sense. Because yeah, a hero that's the differential there is like humongous. You know what I mean? With Sven just going from like, I mean, he was below 50, wasn't he? Before 7.06.
I think it went from like 47 to 57 or like 47 to 56 or something.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Broodmother post 7.06 B, the buffs, which means what was it? It was the buffs were like I understand you have to say good or garbage, so I'll figure out the buffs here. I just read them. It has to do with like
web region.
I think it had to do with web regen. Yeah, your web regen is more. It scales like 2 more or something like that, 3 more per level of web.
Good. It's one more per level as of 7.06b. I forget the
Oh,
exact
okay.
7.06 changes if there were any.
Mhm.
But I think Brood is in a decent place. I think she's probably a little weak, but she is pickable. And I think she's back to the point where she used to be, where it's like, all right, it's a niche 5th pick. I actually got Brood mothered in a game recently. I don't remember if I beat it or not. I believe I beat it, but I think she's all right. I don't want her to be too good. As much as I actually really like playing Broodmother, I don't want her to be like, oh man, you have to pick Brood or whatever. Like nobody wants to play in that metagame. Even Brood pickers themselves don't want to.
Yeah. I guess the only meta game we saw Brood in was what, ESL One New York 2015,
Yeah,
where Vega was running
yeah,
Brood,
Mag.
or yeah, Mag was
Yeah,
playing
like
Brood Mother.
every game.
Yeah.
They like first phase it too. Yeah, wild.
Which was, yeah, I just feel like Brood Mother just is countered by so many things. Anyway, safe lane sniper.
Garbage. Terrible. It's like
Quick
I
explanation.
shouldn't say terrible. It's just incredibly suboptimal.
Is it experience?
Like yeah, it's mostly an experience thing. It's also the hero cannot really zone out an offlaner well, in with most offlaners at least. And doesn't have kill potential with. Well, actually, that's a lie. Some supports will give you kill potential on offlaner, but he's just so dominating in the mid lane that you really should be going mid. Except, yeah, you should be just be going mid. There's really no reason to be playing safe lane sniper.
Agreed. Mid Bane.
Garbage.
What
I
about mid duo Bane, where it's like a
good.
Bane with Enfeeble, like on a Shadow Fiend or something like that?
Well, if you play mid Bane, you still level in feeble. But
Yeah.
yeah, whether you're playing mid support or mid core, I'm as much as I've been enjoying Bane and Bane, I will say mid Bane is one of those win the lane, lose the game kind of heroes, as far as I'm concerned. It is very easy to just win a lane with like, all right, I got Enfeeble at level 2, so you can't CS. I've been maxing Brain Sap. I got an early Soul Ring. I don't need to go bottle, so I don't need to fight for runes. I get 6, then I gank a lane with a good rune or with just, anybody roaming to my lane.
Mhm.
You kill, you have constant harass with pure damage. Brain sap, they can't harass you because you have all that health. And you have good kill potential on people between Nightmare and all that. So, you'll win the lane, but you're not going to transition a Bane core into anything. And it falls into the trap where people are saying, oh, well, the level 25 talent's so good that suddenly mid Bane is good. It's like, well,
What
no.
is the level 25 talent?
It's the plus 200 damage, and then his Aghanim Scepter, or plus 200 damage on Brain Sap, and his Aghanim
Oh.
Scepter makes it so it pierces BKB. So people are saying, oh, well, if you get a level 25 with Ags, you're going to have a 500 pure damage nuke that heals you. Actually, it's more than 500 because it scales with Int. And you're going to be piercing BKB, and you can have it on like a 1 point, what is it, like 1.5 second cooldown, 1.8
Yeah.
after an Octarine core. And it's like, yeah, sure, you can do that, but you have to get to level 25, right?
It's like a level,
That's like playing.
that's like a 70-minute game or something like that, where you fall under
No,
those conditions. 60
I mean
minutes.
it's like a 40-minute game
You think
if
you?
you're playing like Midas Bane.
Yeah, I guess you're. I mean, I feel like the higher up in MMR you go, the more items you get quicker, right? So like
Yeah,
for me to get an Octarine or anything like that, it's like that's gonna be a 90-minute Bane game if I'm gonna get Octarine on Bane. But
yeah. Oh, well, I mean, yeah. If you're talking about the Octarine, yeah,
yeah,
that's a bit much.
it's
But
like it's like I'll never get Octarine. Um,
yeah, don't do it.
okay.
Actually, I mean, I would get Octarine, but I wouldn't play mid Bane.
This solo offlane coddle.
Garbage. Tentatively, I'm gonna say garbage because it's one of the things that it can work, but it shouldn't, and it can work against bad players or in weird matchups. It's incredibly annoying. I've lost to it before, not gonna lie,
Mhm.
but it works. It works occasionally, but it's definitely not good overall. It is cheeky though. Like it's incredibly annoying to deal with. Like
Oh
he
yeah.
just rushes boots in a bunch of clarities, and then you just hide in the trees and then you what's it called, the
You
you use to your
illuminate.
nuke, illuminate the creep waves, get a
Mhm.
ton of farm. The Bane, okay, so the problem with Coddle right now, which a lot of people don't think of properly, is that people play Coddle and they think, oh man, mana drain is such an annoying oppressive ability, And so they put a bunch of points in mana drain early. And then they lose the game because they have points in mana drain at like 6 minutes, and nobody cares about that unless you're like,
Timbersaw.
I don't know. No, but Timbersaw, like he has his stacks of his armor, so he just walks away. And it's just
I guess it's
nonsense. Don't
later
do
that you
crap.
want the mana burn, right? Because later you can then trap him, right? Like you can make him Timber Chain and break him, basically.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So for the love of God, level Illuminate and Chakra Magic early and be done with it. No need to, like, 1 point mana drain is okay, I guess, or mana leak, but don't be like investing like freaking 5 points into mana drain when we need damage. We don't need less mana on enemies.
Yeah, it feels like a point on Coddle is a lot in the early game. It's like, whoa, I've got like 3 really strong things, and they get only stronger and stronger. Like I know that's a dumb thing to say because that's the same with every hero, but like Illuminate 1 to Illuminate 2, huge difference. Chakra 1 to Chakra 2, huge difference.
Yep.
And if you take that level, I completely agree. If you take that level in Mana Drain, it's like, one of them sacrificing. Okay, we're going to go fast on these other ones so we can get to our long list of callers. And let's just do good or garbage on these unless we find one that you specifically, just if you want to stop on one, go ahead and say, I want to stop on this.
Yeah, I'll give a maximum of a sentence of elaboration.
Io Arcana.
Good.
Did you play Portal? That's a question. That's a question I had. You never played
I've
Portal?
never played a Portal game. I'm going to immediately get yelled at on Twitter or
No,
something.
that's fine. I was just wondering. I really love the Arcana just because of the ult effect. I played Portal 1 and Portal 2, and that is so cool. I love it. Pub players picking Io.
Garbage. I'm glad this is the next one because I was going to elaborate. Yeah, definitely garbage because people don't know how to play IO, myself included. Like, I mean, I can passably play IO. Me and Proud used to run it, but yeah, IO's hard to play, it turns out. Luckily, I've not had it in my pub games, but I've heard some horror stories. The good reason why he's like a 36% win rate or something in pubs.
For sure. Not only is he hard to play, but he's hard to play with coordination. Without coordination,
and the dividends are not that great.
Yeah, and especially with bottle changes. I feel like there's a long list that we don't need to go into there. Okay, any jungler not named Enigma?
Garbage. Even Enigma. Blame as an offlaner. I hate God.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate on this?
They're in my pubs. They're bad. They lose pubs. Don't play junglers. Play roamers and supports. Junglers are awful. And Iron Talon's bad now. So, don't do it.
Okay, well, I'm going to start asking why when I don't know why. Why is Iron Talon bad now?
So, Iron Talon, right, proportional to the dividends you're getting from each creep. I don't know why I keep using dividends today. Proportional to what you gain from killing a large creep, you are getting 20% less, right? And Iron Talon with the cooldown means that you're going to be investing all that money in that Iron Talon active. And yeah, sure, you'll kill these creeps faster, but your speed has less, again, dividends because you're getting so much less XP and less gold. So now you're more advantaged from taking medium camps and small camps, whether you're a support or a, God forbid, a jungler or whatever, because you can do that quickly and efficiently without having to invest the money in an Iron Talon. Nowadays, if you're jungling, just buy like a Stout and a Quelling Blade, and, the Iron Talon's not bad, it's just worse than it used to be, especially if you're like an offlaner that's losing lane. Iron Talon's kind of falling out of favor.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, now we're really going to pick it up. Hero spammers.
Garbage.
Okay. Playing on Reef's Edge terrain. We both have it.
I've never used it.
You haven't used it?
No, I'm scared. I've watched people play on it.
I love it.
Yeah, it looks nice. It's going to mess up my play, though.
But it does matter. Trees are really hard because trees turn into like weird like algae and like waving things, and sometimes you think a tree is not a tree, and sometimes a tree is a tree. It's tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I played thousands of games of Dota, and the first time I saw Reef's Edge terrain, like a snippet of it, I literally could not tell what part of the map it was, and I said to myself, "Nope, never using that. I don't want to be confused of a thing I've memorized."
Yeah. And we have played thousands of games on one map. It's crazy. Okay, the Wait for Stilt Breaker campaign.
Garbage. It sounds like fun.
Yeah, it does sound like fun, doesn't it? Odds that Cyphus calibrates higher than Roland. I am currently at 3,045 as it stands right now. I'll probably play a game tonight, and I'm gonna double down. So I
Oh,
could be below 3K. I could either
that's
be
hard.
3,100. I'll either be 3,100 or just under 3K.
I'm gonna say garbage, but it's gonna be close. I think it's definitely gonna be close. I tentatively say garbage. Just
Okay,
also because like now the cap is 3,500, right?
it's a
Like
lot harder to
so
get to it.
proportionally to getting
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, we don't know how the calibration works exactly. So maybe it just averages everybody that's above 35 down to 35, or maybe it makes getting to 35 harder. But either way, I think it's
You'd
gonna be
think it'd be
close, but
proportional, right? Like it would be like 3K would be
maybe not.
if it wasn't the old cap like 46. I
Yeah.
want to say it was 46. So I mean, they can't just say that every player that was going to calibrate at 46 is 35, and anybody that was going to
Yeah.
calibrate at 34 is now going to calibrate at 34. There has to be some sort of balancing act there, right?
We'll
So
see.
it
Yeah.
might be harder. Wazoo, my brother, just calibrated and was very close to 3K.
Yeah.
So
I expect Cyphers to be around there.
yeah, me too.
2,900, 2,800 ish.
I don't know. I think he's definitely just as good, if not better than me. Like obviously I have my heroes, he has his heroes, but like all in all, I feel like he's better than me for sure. But I just happened to calibrate when calibrating was good. You know what I mean? I don't know. Okay,
Maybe.
maybe. Crowdfunding Roland a boosting service so that doesn't happen.
Garbage. It's got to be all natural.
I don't think you can do boosting anymore with all these
Oh yeah, you can
restrictions.
easily do boosting.
Can you?
You just do family sharing. Yeah. It's I'm not gonna go into it, but it's still a plague.
Okay, PUBG.
Good.
Good.
Overrated, but good.
Yeah, okay. I will say a little overrated as well. Based on like I've played a lot of it too. A little overrated, I agree. Being Roland's teammate in PUBG, take a guess.
Never. Probably garbage.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But
I'm allowed.
probably good at. I don't know. You would. Okay, so you would give a lot of. You'd be like me, I think, where you would give a lot of unnecessary information
Yeah.
and. Like I was playing the other night, and I won't go into depth obviously because we're trying to rush through this. But people were giving really in-depth advice. They're like, "All right, shots at our 330. We're going northeast, and there is a spot in this map." And I was like, "I mean, this guy's shooting at my left. I don't know. He has a gun, probably." I'm like, "Oh God."
I give numbers, and I'm not as good. I play with Wivrix and I play with some in real life friends. I give numbers obviously because like I have like the stereo headset, so like you can like roughly
Yeah.
tell if I'm facing north, I can be like that's south. Or if I see a guy in the hills, I'm gonna be like between 70 and 95 or something like that. You know what I mean? But
The PUBG sound design is godly.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
honestly the best part of the entire game is just the sound design in that game.
Yes.
I'm so impressed by that.
for sure. Roland getting silenced 3 minutes into the D&D stream.
Good. Thank God.
Good. Proud's witch's hat.
Good. I mean, it's his style. I appreciate it, right? You gotta swag on people, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
guess so.
everybody's gotta have their brand.
Proud's lone druid accent.
Good. I mean, it's good. I'm not gonna lie. I can't do accents too, so I marvel at anybody that can, and I think it's nice.
Yeah, me too. I can't obviously.
You can. I mean, compared to me, like I literally just don't try because I'm so bad at it.
Or Lena would be like hot stuff. Your drinking habits.
Garbage. I don't-
Yeah,
This is so overblown.
I didn't write it.
I mean, I know you didn't write it, but you propagated this theory and this mythology that I'm a robot with a weird family that drinks too much.
Kind of like Bender, but you're less emotional. You're less emotional than Bender.
Yeah.
DotP getting a fat check to send them to TI. Oh my gosh.
Good. God bless.
Yeah, God bless indeed. Yeah, that's it for Good or Garbage tonight.
All right.
Thank you everybody for the Good or Garbage. That's the end of the show.
Yep.
No,
It's been fun. It's been real.
I'm just joking. Let's go ahead and pull up my document. First caller.
Oh yeah, Jack meme. Sorry, we forgot to add that to the Good or Garbage.
Oh.
So KBBQ Jack, he has the most memeable face, thanks to a screen cap from Capitalist, and it is lovely. It's my new favorite Dota meme by far.
Yeah.
Best emote. If you don't have Discord Nitro, get Discord Nitro so that you can use DotP's Jack emote in other servers.
Yep.
That's a free plug for Discord.
Nice. Discord.gg/.p. Okay, our first caller is Gabe Gonzo. His MMR is 2K exactly. Gabe, what is your question?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Well, thank you.
Want to see what your thoughts were. If you guys thought that the new Shadow Shaman changes puts him in like the top 5 supports.
I would say he's top 5. I wouldn't say he's like top 3, but I think he's good. He has some core weaknesses in that he's slow. You can interrupt him. Certain heroes are good at killing his wards, but I think he's a good hero overall. As long as he's not played as a mid, unless you're Scrunk. But yeah, so I'm firmly of the opinion. Well, probably not firm, but I'd say he's top 5 for sure. Not top 3 though.
And creep waves. What about creep waves? Creep waves destroy serpent wards. Ever since they take 2 attacks. Them. Well,
serpent wards in general are the lowest priority on the attack party list. So if they're killing your wards, like, you got other problems, my friend.
Yeah, that's true. It's like you dropped them in the middle of like, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
What else about this hero? I mean,
his base damage is overrated.
Oh, you think it's overrated?
I'm gonna come out and say that. Yeah, well, because the hero doesn't like. Okay, so he has a low range. He has like what 450 range or something. He has a mediocre attack animation. He has really slow move speed. Is like what, like 285 or something. And so having 76 or 74 base damage. Yeah, sure, theoretically that's good, but it's not like you're a Lina or a Shadow Fiend. You're playing Shadow Shaman. Half of your mechanic is just to stand there and shackle and not be able to do anything.
For sure. You know those things that you launch a dog ball with, that like you put it in and then it, like you use like leverage or something to launch the dog ball? Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
they're called like flingets or something like that.
Sure. Yeah, I'm thinking of the rockets that kids have, where like you have to like pump it up and then kick it, and then the rocket flies like 20 feet in the air.
You know what I mean? Where you like Anyway, that's Shadow. I like to think of every hero's attack animation as like a thing. Like Juggernaut, I like to think of it as like a tennis. You're playing tennis, right?
Okay.
Shadow Fiend is softball.
Softballs, yeah, that's the classic one everybody says.
God. Morphling is like a Hadouken. Is how it kind of feels. Throwing it from the chest. You know what I
mean? If you, I don't know. I feel like there's a few heroes that is good to describe them, but for most heroes, it's a bit of a stretch.
Drow Ranger's like a tangled knot, and that you have to untangle it and then it'll shoot. Oh man.
Yeah, like I said, a stretch.
Yeah. Gabe, anything else to add on Shadow Shaman?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, if he's not top 3, I mean, just maybe a quick thought of what you guys think is top 3 nowadays.
Yeah, number 1 CM for sure, definitely CM, and I'm only gonna include 5s.
Can I put Tree in there?
Yeah, I mean Tree I would say is more of a 4, but I'd see Tree is up there. Yeah,
Tree. That's all I have to add.
He's a contender, I guess. And man, I'd be remiss if I didn't say Bane.
I think you're wrong though. With Bane.
I think Dazzle and Disruptor, I'd have rather have both of those heroes than a Shadow Shaman. I'm also just not a Shadow Shaman believer, to be honest. Yeah. He's just so squishy and interruptible. Everybody has interrupts nowadays.
You know what I like about Shadow Shaman though, Ursi? And I don't know how you feel about these types of heroes, but I like the type of hero when the ult is off cooldown, it puts pressure on the team to act. Kind of like Death Prophet Exorcism, right?
Yeah.
It's like Exorcism's off cooldown. Let's get together. Like, I feel like Shadow Shaman has that same, like, moving force on the team where it's like, hey guys, I have wards. I have serpent wards. And they're like, okay, well, let's get together and plop those because we don't want to waste time. So, I don't know. I like that aspect.
I agree. Yeah. That's fair. And also, having burst push is very rare in supports. Like, almost no other 5 position support has burst push in the sense that Shadow Shaman does. So, yeah, like I said, I don't think he's bad by any means. I think he's a good support. I just Like I'd rather have a CM or like a Warlock on my team.
Yeah.
Or Rubik. Always pick Rubik. Rubik's always in
Oh
top
yeah,
3.
I
Let's
knew
be
you were gonna
honest.
say Rubik. Hey Gabe, thank you so much.
No problem, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Yep, you too.
Shadow Shaman. Remember when he got that buff to Shackles? When
The
Shackles
one
was
that's
like a 50-second cooldown, and then it went to like a 12 second. It felt like 50 seconds. It was a long time.
Yeah.
I can't remember how long.
It's short. Shackles is such a deceptive ability because
is.
people are like, "Oh man, you could shackle for 5 seconds and it's so good." It's like, yeah, well, realistically, you're not doing that in
Yeah.
a lot of situations.
I
And
think
if you are, then you get the kill anyway.
yeah. The one like the ideal situation you think of with Shadow Shaman is like Shadow Shaman Jug. The centaur overextends and it's a solo centaur, and you're in laning phase, and you get a full duration shackle while the jug spins. That is
Yeah.
the only situation where I can think like full duration shackle.
Yeah.
Unless you get BKB on Shadow Shaman, and then maybe you'll before you get sliced down, you'll get a full
Yeah.
shackle. So.
Jakiro is the hero that we missed for support.
Oh.
Jakiro is definitely top 5, or definitely top 3, I would say, even for 5 and 4 position.
CM, Jakiro, and Tree.
I mean, again, Tree. I think Tree's 4, but either way, yeah.
He's kind of 4. You can play him poor though. I mean, I guess, but you can say that with any 4. Like I could play him as a 5, and it's like, well, it's a 4. But
well, not really.
Yeah, and he doesn't really have any stuff. He has a good ult.
5 is not just being poor. 5 is like a mentality.
Indeed. Okay, our next caller, Kumimizu, also 2K. Exactly. Coincidence?
Maybe.
Favorite change to 7.06? Could change. That's your question. Go ahead, Kumimizu. What's your question? I just read it, but you can go ahead and detail.
Yeah, I'm just asking what your favorite change is post 7.06, be it A or B, you can choose. And if you could change one hero to be pre 7.06, who would it be and why?
Ooh.
Itsy.
So my favorite change by far is now having the jungle be back to how it used to be, in that you have camps every minute. I'm glad that this change is balanced by the 20% less XP and gold. So you are still aggregate. If you are flash farming, you are getting more gold out of the map. But at the same time, you can now make stacks again. If you're any kind of support or roamer, you have camps to farm. There are myriad implications of this, but that's by far my favorite. Yeah. Should I answer both, or do you want to?
Go ahead. Yeah, do your one hero that you would like to take back in time to pre 7.06. To pre, I thought for a second I was thinking pre 7.0, and I was like, oh, I know of a lot of them. Pre 7.06.
Let's see. I really don't know. I'm pretty happy with all the 7.06 changes, mostly because all the heroes that they nerfed or significantly buffed are heroes that I don't play.
Yeah. I have a hero.
Like, because almost everybody got buffs, right?
Well, some heroes got nerfed.
Ricky got a 5 movement speed penalty.
Good.
Oh,
Screw him.
the plus or minus 5. I would go ahead and say that I wish Treant Protector wasn't a root coming out of Invis, and it was still a bash. If I could take any hero, I'd take Treant Protector back to 7.05.
I know what my answer is. So I want. Sorry, continue.
No, you go ahead.
I want them to revert the buffs to Oracle, because he's still terrible, and if they revert those buffs, then they'll think, oh, we never buffed him, and then they'll actually buff him properly in 7.07. Because God, he's just so terrible. It's shameful.
He's cool looking though.
Wow, he is cool looking, but he's cool looking dead on the floor instead of cool looking healing his friends.
Like if he was a good hero, I would vote for him for Arcana. You know what I mean? If he was if he was a really good hero and you saw him all the time, I'd be like, yeah, like do some cool spinny thing with his already spinny thing. Like that'd be cool with some Arcana thing.
Yeah.
And obviously my favorite change to 7.06 is deny mechanics. Like that is how can you forget? Like that is the coolest thing ever. I think that's awesome.
That's better. That's a better answer than mine. That should have been my answer, dude. I deny so much. Have you played mid lane that much since
my
the
first
change?
game
it's
was
lovely.
Mid lane, and I was 40 and 40 at 8 minutes, and it was a great feeling.
Oh man, yeah, I'm always at least a level or two ahead in mid lane nowadays. It's it is just it's the best feeling being rewarded. It's like they just increased the reward for being good at Dota 2, and I'm good at Dota 2, so boy, it's fun.
Yeah. Somebody noted, Christopher Odd noted, Monkey King pre 7.06 was actually playable and good.
I mean, yeah,
Monkey King,
he's still playable
Monkey
now.
King is no longer king. Like somebody usurped the throne from him, and now he's just a monkey in the
Wonder what his win
forest
rate is
jumping
right now.
around. They messed with
Wow, his win rate's 41%. Good game. Yeah, maybe he is unplayably bad.
yeah, he is definitely unplayably bad. Okay, Kuma, thank you so much for coming on the show. And we'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty, thanks for having me.
All right.
Yeah, denies. I notice. I've watched your TA. I've seen your Templar Assassin. I know how you deny.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, TA. I'd say Invoker's my number one deny hero, probably. Yeah, I historically have been an over denier, like to a detriment. And
Mhm.
even now, I still deny too much relative. Like every once in a while, I miss a CS because I'm trying to get a deny, and that's just dumb.
For
But
sure.
yeah, I love denying. I basically leveled my compendium and spent like $100 just to get the question mark denies.
Oh, it's so funny. I love it. I love the question mark deny. It's like, why didn't you get that?
I love
Huh?
denying. It's just like flexing on people,
It
right?
is.
Like if you're denying like significantly in a lane, and the other person is just having a miserable time, it's like, yeah. I like it's
couldn't
the
agree more.
Dota equivalent of flexing on somebody.
Yeah, the question mark. It's almost pay to win. It's almost pay to win if somebody just gets a bunch. Like if you're just question marking them all the time. I don't know, like an offlane centaur against like my jug, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
They're just like, oh man, question marks all over the place. What's going on with your play? It's got to be. See, I don't go up against the question mark too much because Immortal 2 hasn't come out. People haven't gone super nuts. I decided I am getting an Aegis this year, without a
I
doubt.
have one. Not this year. I have one from TI5.
Yeah. So anyway, let's take our next caller, who is Roz Dota. Roz Dota is a 3800 MMR player. Roz, what is your question?
Hey fellas, how you doing?
We're
Good.
doing well.
Good,
How are
good.
you?
Oh, my question is in regards to Razor and the new changes and how he fits now in the mid lane or in any lane actually. What
I
are your
read this.
thoughts on Razor?
Yeah, I read this question. I got excited because
Ursi
I am a
just played
Razor
this.
believer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I lost horribly with it for a variety of reasons, but I've been toying around with Razor. Not a lot, but theory crafting some Razor things and playing around with him. A lot of times I don't pick him, to be honest, just because I feel like I can carry harder on something else or different things suited. But I do really like Razor in this patch. I don't think he's like a tier 1 mid, so to speak, but I do definitely think that Razor is definitely way stronger now than he used to be. His talents are really good. The hero just himself is still decent. You still have to pick him into an advantaged matchup. So, for instance, in my Razor game recently, I lost because I played Razor against TA, which is just a terrible matchup for the Razor player because you can soak or damage all you want, but Razor wins lane by soaking damage and then slapping the person around and making them go back to base or use all their bottle charges, etc. So now that you can't do that against a TA, so that's not a winning matchup. But if you're playing Razor against like a Shadow Fiend and you get early boots, or if you're playing Razor against a DK or any kind of melee mid, it's great. I have a field day with that.
Wouldn't you buy an orb against TA?
So Orb of Venom does not take off refraction charges, actually. This is a common misconception. So for refraction charges to be deducted, you have to deal 5 or more damage. But the thing is, Orb of Venom does 5 damage, but that is then reduced by her armor or magic resistance or whatever, which brings it down to like 4.2 damage or something. So then it does not take off refraction charges, but the Orb of Venom will, since it's not being taken off by refraction, it will prevent Blink Dagger. Actually, maybe they changed
true.
that. Maybe
No, that's
that
true.
doesn't work.
That's true.
Yeah. I know that used to be true, but
That is still true as of 7.05.
yeah. But also,
So,
yeah, I mean,
don't know if-
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not great. Yeah. So Orb of Venom against TA, common misconception, but no, that does not work. And does Earn work? I don't think Earn does either. not sure. Actually, no, Earn
I don't know
does,
if
right?
Earn does enough per tick.
I
I'm not
believe
sure.
Earn does.
Well, Earn now has been changed as of 7.06 because
The
Earn.
heal has been changed.
Oh, the damage. I think the damage isn't it just kind of like a steady? Steady, there she goes. I'm pretty sure it's steady, there she goes.
Probably. I mean, okay, so they
instead of-
specifically in the patch notes, they specifically said heal, which makes me think that they did not change the damage aspect. But I could
they
be
changed
wrong.
the way it ticks, I thought. The way
Urn of Shadows heal now acts as proper regeneration like salve rather than healing at frequent interval ticks. So that specifically did not mention the damage, but either way, yeah, Orb Venom doesn't work.
don't you
but
feel like it's like a
Earn might.
mirror? You know what I mean?
You'll just get your support ogre to come help.
Exactly.
exactly,
Ignite. Ignite, or just
Yep.
get Jakira to come in there and just do any of his spells. And
Yep.
well, except
But do you
the
think
middle one.
he'll make a comeback in the pro scene at all?
I mean, he's still gonna be picked like as a niche pick sometimes. If you need like, all right, we're gonna have a greedy off lane and a greedy safe lane. We need like a tempo control mid, and he does build convenient items for the team, right? And he's pretty good at pushing. So he offers things into the team that are valuable. So I could definitely see him being picked in pros, but especially with the increased amount of farm in the mid lane, I think we're still gonna see more like really farm intensive cores mid lane, like your invokers, your shadow fiends, etc.
Mhm.
TAs. But I do definitely think Razor is better than he used to be, and he was not weak before, right? So I think he's pickably strong now. And we could see him. I would say he's gonna be picked in pros, yeah. But I don't think he's gonna suddenly like rocket to tier 1 mid level by any means.
Yeah, I could see him making it to like a draft where it's like exactly what you said, where for some reason Sumail's in the safe lane or something like that. You know what I mean? And he's rocking something different, and RTZ's playing
or
like a mid razor or something like that.
Yeah. Or maybe he'll like transition to being like some aggro, like people will start picking him into aggro lane, so you'll run like an aggro try that's like Jakiro Razor +1, and then you
that's
just
cool.
run at the tower, you take your tower early, you abuse the safe laner, you pick him against something like a Jug or a Life Stealer, and then you just soak up all their damage while they're trying to escape. And that could be cool. Maybe that, but he needs levels.
That's brilliant.
He's got a lot more kill potential now with the Eye of the Storm and Static Link interaction.
And the change to his cast point, or I mean, now he has no cast point on his ult. That makes a big difference for chasing too. Because previously you'd have to make the decision like, all right, I'm chasing somebody. Do I want to use this and take the quarter of a second to stop my chase? Then sometimes they'd break leash. They'd have all these problems. That's definitely another good point. Yeah, I think the hero is like, if he gets buffs in 7.07, like he is verging on too strong potentially. Or if they buff drums again, maybe.
Yeah, drums need a little 11.
I like drums.
Roz, thank you so much for your question. And I feel like you got a good answer out of Ursi. I want to see that tri lane. I really do. Thank you for calling in.
I hope so.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. I'm just happy I get to talk about Razor.
Yeah, you couldn't carry us through Game 3 in the Battle Cup, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That
game had a lot of
was
problems.
bad.
I should have played Ember Spirit. I shouldn't have listened to everybody that was like, oh man, you can't play with Ember Spirit.
I don't know if you had a
It's
choice.
like-
you weren't drafting. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
I feel like
we actually rolled for it.
That's not smart. I feel.
Well, we didn't roll for draft. I mean, we rolled
I know you
for
rolled
like
for
oh,
Ember or
gonna,
Razor,
yeah.
and it was like 5 or above was Ember, 5 or below was Razor, or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, and we
but
rolled a 42.
Anyway, yeah, Ember was the pick, and you still got items, you still got farm, but it felt like maybe you won the lane and not the game. Like what you were saying, I like that. I've never heard that before, so I'm going to use that a lot now.
Won
the lane, not the game.
It's a lot of unconventional mid laners.
And then
say.
even you rotating for like for the ganks in that game on Razor, it just kind of felt.
It was ineffectual.
Yeah, just.
Also, like Razor Lycan is not not like a core composition that works.
Mm-hmm. Well, what was our stopping power? Jakiro? I think Jakiro was our stopping power. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a Jakiro. What was it? It was like Jakiro, Lycan, offlane PA, mid Razor, and then you were playing like Slardar or something.
Yeah.
And then you just couldn't get your Blink Dagger or offlane. Like we just didn't have synergy. Like we had 5 good heroes, but the heroes did not work well together, right? And then they just 5-manned us, and we just got screwed.
Agreed.
And like I really just shouldn't have played Razor into TA. I was blinded by the fact that I wanted to play a certain hero, but like it was clearly not the pick.
Agreed.
Right? Like I should have played any other hero.
Agreed. Okay, we're gonna take our next caller. Our next caller is Chaos. His MMR is honest, it seems. No rounding here at 3402. Chaos, what is your question?
Hey guys, I'd like to know what you expect from the upcoming Siltbreaker campaign, and what do you think might happen in Dota's future regarding campaigns and co-op based on that?
Oh, I'm excited.
Did you play the last one?
I always play the events
What was
like
it called?
a
It
few
was called
times.
like Dark Moon Tower Defense. What was the last one
Yeah.
called?
What was it? It was like
It was
Dark Moon.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
just Dark
It was
Moon.
just Dark Moon.
Yeah.
That was fun, but I want to play Dota still. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
kind of how I feel about those campaigns. It's like, cool. When
what's
I'm
the
not playing
campaign
Dota, I'll
called?
play this. Maybe.
Yeah. Cass is
You know?
right.
It was
That
just
was
a
not.
one-off.
Yeah.
It was just a one-off game mode, not a full campaign
Oh,
with
this-
a storyline.
Okay, then I need an explainer then because I'm talking out of my ass. What's happened with
Siltbreaker
this?
is going to be an upcoming campaign for TI that's going to have like multiple. I think they said 3 different like phases basically of the campaign, and it's going to be like a fleshed out story to some extent. My expectations are that it will be fun to play once. I will probably not play it for a while, and then if people say it's bad, I won't bother at all, unless there's cosmetics to be gained or something from it.
Of
And
course.
then somebody
Especially
smarter
Lena
than me.
Cosmetics. Lena. If there's
Yeah, no,
anything
my
Lena.
Lena's too good already.
Oh yeah, your Lena is fresh, hot.
Yeah, that's the problem with cosmetics now. Is like I have all the stuff that I want, and all the sets they put out now are cool, but they're just not cool enough. So they don't never unseat the things that I already have. So I just send them to my alt.
Do you mind if I budge in here real quick? Because
Please.
I hate the way the Slark cosmetic looks. I
Yeah, the
love the
expensive one
particle
now?
effects. Yeah, I got it. I got the Slark. Awesome. Woohoo. It looks like shit in my opinion. But I love the chains breaking. I love how that like integrates into his story in Dark Reef.
Yeah,
But it's just
it's kind of pay to lose.
it's an ugly anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Siltbreaker.
I kind of agree with you. That's one like I mean I'm all to spend money and get to get
The effects are
items,
awesome. The effects are
cosmetics,
awesome.
but it's pay to lose. Like it's so obvious when a Slurp with that cosmetic is dark pacting compared
like
to when he's
Jurassic
dark
World.
pacting previously.
You know,
Yeah,
Jurassic
it's just
World.
a bit much.
It was the dinosaurs look super real in Jurassic World. Super cool particle effects in Jurassic World, but overall it just wasn't good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, Siltbreaker campaign happening. Is it going to be like PvE? Like
Yeah.
like a what? Like a Diablo type thing? Is that
We'll see.
Sort
I
of
mean,
sounds like that.
yeah, it sounds like it's going to be similar kind of to some of the custom games that they've had, like Year Beast and like Dark Moon, but it's going to have more narrative elements. So I'm just going to, I'll play it with a stack or I'll play it solo or whatever.
Mhm.
And then I'll just have somebody that actually cares about lore explain the lore implications to me. And then that's it.
Well, you have a friend definitely that can help you out there. Chaos,
have
what's
many.
your expectation with Siltbreaker?
Well, I think it's a really interesting opportunity for them to start making a sort of storyline campaign mode, even if it's just sort of a isolated campaign. And I've had a couple of friends who are really intimidated by Dota who heard about it and said that they might actually be willing to try out the game if they've got a
Oh.
co-op mode that they could play in. So
Are
I
they
think
gonna
it
pay
might have some-
$250?
No, you don't need to.
Oh, you don't have to pay it?
Not that
It's-
much for Siltbreaker.
You don't unlock the campaign? I felt like I
Well,
thought
I
you
think
unlocked the
it-
campaign.
You just have to have the compendium. as
Oh,
far as I know.
okay. So they have to spend what, like $8 then, and then they can play it.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds like
Yeah.
it.
I mean, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I enjoy campaign in games, even multiplayer games. Like I'm a PvE player outside of Dota, and that's probably largely because Dota is so exhausting PvP wise that I have to play PvE games otherwise. So
Mhm.
I am excited for the prospect of having PvE kinds of Dota, basically, that are fleshed out. But it remains to be seen if it's going to be fleshed out in like a fully fun, playable with replayability game. It's gonna be another factor. Like, is it what's the replayability of it, or are you gonna play it once and then be like, okay, I get it, and then leave? So we'll see. That is cool though, with the like integrating new players into the lore.
Yeah.
But then like the lore doesn't matter at
It
some
doesn't.
points. Like, oh, they're
Well-
gonna put out cosmetics like they just don't
Voice
care.
lines. I don't know. I love voice lines.
The lore matters.
It's broken my heart to hear people that are like, I turn that shit off. Voice lines,
I mean, I use
annoying.
I
And you use Korean
Oh,
voice
yeah.
lines, I know, which is cool.
I mean, I recognize. I know some Korean, so I pick up some words
cool
and stuff
but
like
I will
that.
tell you
and
that
phrases.
the ones in your native language are really good.
They're annoying. I don't like them.
You're one of those people. I love it, dude.
It's distracting.
I'm on Crystal Maiden and I just happened to walk by Tiny and she's like, Tiny, why are you so rocky? And I just bust out laughing. It's obviously way better than that, but like I just bust out laughing because it's like a 1% chance that happens. I've never heard the interaction. So
Yeah, and
some
then you
people
miss a
think
CS
cheesy.
because you were laughing.
Yeah, but so what? That means I love the game more than that 42 gold or whatever.
No, then you get your Blink Dagger 42 gold slower, and then you don't kill the offlaner. He gets 6 because he's a centaur, and then he escapes, and then you lose the game.
You
'cause
try
don't
hard.
like accelerate.
You try hard.
It's yeah.
Chaos.
Nothing.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for the question. There is
Thank you,
nothing.
Chaos.
There is nothing left to be said about this. Thank you for the question, Chaos.
Yeah,
What were you
nothing
gonna
kills
say,
me
though?
more than the freaking announcer.
You don't like the announcers?
Custom announcers make me irrationally angry. So I don't need somebody to tell me, "Oh, I'm losing a tower," or like have freaking Pyrian Flax insulting me, or like Rick and Morty
Is that what
yelling at
happens
me
with
and making
Pyrian
dumb
Flax?
jokes.
That's actually kind of funny.
That was just one of the things, but that was just the first one that came to mind.
Huh.
Like I used the Rick and Morty announcers for a while because Rick and Morty's funny. But once I'd heard all the lines once, I was like, "This is not funny anymore. This is annoying," and I'm getting yelled at by some NPC. Like I just want to play Dota. I don't want to be tilted. I'm tilted enough by my stupid teammates. I don't want to be tilted by a Rick and Morty announcer pack.
Hey, your teammates aren't
God.
stupid. Your teammates aren't stupid.
You're right.
We're gonna take our
Some of
next
them
caller
are.
here. Sorry, what? We're gonna take our next
No.
caller here. What? Sorry, I couldn't.
Yeah,
What?
no. Let's
Okay, we're
next
gonna take
caller. Next caller.
Okay, next caller. It's Lieutenant Condor, another honest MMR giver at 2323. Condor, what is your
How's
question?
it going?
Oh,
Good.
Pretty
Great.
good.
All right. I have a little bit of a complex question for you here. Maybe
Perfect.
simple to answer, maybe not. But this last week I played a couple games of Dota where I found that it felt like we were doing all right as far as gold went, but we were just losing. They were pushing towers, and we didn't have an opening. And my question is, how do you create an opening, feel like you're being rushed, even though looking back at the game, we had like a 5K gold lead, 8K gold lead. How do you take advantage of that, or how do you create that opening with that net worth advantage?
Yeah. So the best way to create an opening by far is to realize what the enemy team is trying to do and then set them off kilter, basically. So if they're running a push comp, right, and they're saying, okay, we're gonna 5-man down your towers, what you want to do is kill one of them, right? Create basically a disruption in their game plan. Or if they're trying to play a split push game, then you just 5-man down one of their towers, right? So the first step to creating an opening and making the game more winnable is to disrupt them, right? So if they are, like you said, let's say they're going and taking all your outer towers and they're being systematic about it, right? They've taken mid tier 1, they've taken their safe lane tier 1. They're now, as you expect, they're going to take your safe lane tier 1 next. What you want to do is say, all right, we know they're going to do this, right? As a team, or even just you as an individual. Let's say your team doesn't even realize. Without even communicating to your team, you can just put let's say you're playing a support for the sake of my example. You could put a ward up because all right, they're playing Radiant. They're going to push our dire tier 1 safe lane tower. So I'm going to, you might have to smoke to do this, but probably not, depending on, what MMR tier you're in. You're going to make a defensive ward so you can see when they all TP and group up to that area. You're going to say, okay, they have all their cooldowns up because they just pushed bottom, but we didn't contest them, so we know they still have Ravage or they still have whatever. And then now that you have all that extra information of knowing, okay, we know exactly where they're going, we know exactly what they want to do, then you disrupt them that way, right? And say, all right, we let you take these 2 towers, but now we know your game plan, and then you can now stop it, right? And, depending on each team's heroes, of course, the exact way that you're disrupting this is going to vary, right? Maybe you're going to disrupt them by playing a pickoff game and saying, all right, you guys are 5-man pushing, you're relying on a coddle with Ags. Let's say it's super late, maybe. Then you're going to say, all right, we're just going to smoke around back. We're going to kill the coddle immediately. And then they either won't be able to push because they want to coddle healing and coddle wave clear, or then you'll be able to kill all of them because their coddle's dead right off the bat, maybe. Alternatively, you know, maybe they're trying to push, but your push is better, right? They're trying to 5-man down your top lane, your safe lane, like we said earlier, but you have a super farmed AM. Maybe he can't fight because he did like the burning split push build where he went like Midas and then Midas, what is it? Midas, Battle Fury, BOT Manta, and then like a Moonshard. He can't fight, but he can split push like crazy, right? So you say, all right, we
Okay.
are gonna put four people in the safe lane, stop their push, or at least delay them. We're gonna have AM split pushing in a different lane, and they're gonna force your enemy to make an awkward decision and put them, like I said, off kilter.
Okay. All right. A follow-up question on that, like that AM deal there. If you don't have vision in their jungle, though, how do you handle that? Do you push because you see 4 bottom pushing, or when do you know to stop pushing top then?
So first of all, don't do that AM build. I don't like that's not a. I say that just because the guy did that in one of my posts recently, and that is a build that Burning has done and had success with. But for the record, if you're gonna split push AM, you just play regular AM, but you just play a little differently. If you don't have vision of a area that you are pushing in, especially as a hero like AM, you have to just pay more attention to your minimap basically and say, all right, they have the only ways they kill me is AM, right? Because you're super evasive, or if you're playing a hero like Ember Spirit, another good example of this. You know, all right, the only way they can kill me is if LC jumps and duels me, or if Bane ults me. So by knowing that, you can say, all right, I watched my minimap. I saw LC pop up top lane, and Bane's missing, but we know enough people are in other places that I'm probably safe. And then even
Okay.
without the vision, you can just, you know, push down the lane. Or if you don't know, then you don't push, right? Because you say, all right, if I push, I'm probably going to die because they're going to expect this.
Okay. Makes plenty of sense.
Yeah. Also, keep track of TP scrolls. That's the other big one.
Which is
Okay.
so hard to do. Oh man, why? I wish I had that advice. I just got it for free. You like, but thank you. Does it show their cooldown on their TP if I click on them?
No,
Wow.
but it's
so I
80
just have
seconds,
to like,
right?
so I have to be like,
Yeah.
he TP'd anti-mage, can't TP for like, the game timer's 37:45, so that would be like, okay, anti-mage can't TP, and I just missed like 4 CS because it's like anti-mage can't TP till 39 minutes. Like, that's tough. No wonder you're
Well,
5K. You
Don't
know?
do math.
Don't
do math.
Just be like,
I never do math.
a time
you just
from
have
now.
to feel it out.
A time from now, he can't TP.
I
Okay.
find that in Dota, if you're trying to do exact math, you're gonna mess it up and then you're gonna die for it. So you just have to feel it out. And if you're playing a split pusher, when in doubt, be a little more cautious, I would say.
For
That's
sure.
probably not good advice, actually, but I'm a more cautious player, I'll say. So yeah.
Yeah. Lieutenant Condor, does that give you some ideas, some openings in your mind on how to make openings in a game?
Yes,
That
it
was
does.
lame. Oh man, that was a lame attempt at trying to say something. It does.
It does.
You-
It gives me an idea where to go.
Awesome.
Great.
Okay. Well, go defect.
Thank you, guys.
Go defect to Proud then, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for calling in.
All right,
Yep.
thank you. I'll take care.
That was lame. Not him. Me. My attempt.
Yeah, you did your best, Roland.
Is that a good opening for the opening in a game? Anyway, we are Defense of the Patients. You can find us at defenseofthepatients.com. You can go to twitch.tv/.ptv where you will find me streaming. In the mornings, we do Tuesday Q&A. Of course, our big event Wednesday is the in-houses happening tomorrow at 9 p.m. EDT. Yes? Ursi, you
Yeah,
cast game 1?
What?
I haven't been able
Oh,
to
that's
make...
Wednesday. Yes.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
tomorrow. Because
in-houses,
this is
yeah.
Tuesday. Because we live in the
Yes.
past. And you
Yeah, I
live
was
in
confused.
the future.
Yeah.
Of course, go to defenseofthepatients.com, and if you want to get some sweet swag, swag, not swag, I believe.
Swag.
Wow, swag. Yeah, shirts, mugs, hoodies with the flip top, in case it rains. It's got all that in there.
Hoodies with the flip top? What
hoodies
does
with
that
the
mean?
To cover your head.
I mean, hoodies
dude.
with a hood? Yes.
Yeah, hoodies with a hood.
What
yeah.
what
It's
a novel.
little redundant.
What a
It's a
novel.
little redundant.
A little bit, yeah.
Go to patreon.com/defense of the patients, and please leave an iTunes review. With all that being said, this is Roland for Ursi saying you have questions, and we have a lot of openings.